So a topic that's fairly common that I want to kind of touch on specifically is depression. I won't get into so much how depression and anxiety function together, but I want to isolate depression on its own. I want to say specifically with the Beck's depression inventory that first of all, depression manifests itself in different ways based on age groups. So the Beck's depression inventory generally deals with people over the age of 13. Now, the first couple inventories, involve children as well, but the Beck's depression inventory to date generally involves young adults, adolescents to adults. It kind of has both physical and cognitive attributes. So you look at the actual Beck's depression inventory questionnaire, and it may ask some questions about how the person's doing psychologically, but it may also ask questions involving, physical, like, are you eating well? Are you sleeping well? Different aspects like that. So it was originally created by Aaron Beck back in 1961. Again, there's been some revisions since then, but that was kind of the first one created. And he kind of used that both in psychiatry and psychology. So if you look at the actual scales to look at and kind of interpret the questionnaire, it ranges anywhere from, having ups and downs which are normal to extreme depression and everywhere in between. It's got mild to moderate disturbance, borderline depression, moderate severe to extreme depression. Now, this generally takes about 10 to 12 minutes to complete, depending on who's doing the assessment. It's got an internal consistency fairly high. It's got between like 0.73 and 0.92 roughly, give or take. I don't remember completely. And then there was also some fairly high internal validity and reliability, meaning that it was kind of created for, measuring what it was supposed to measure at the time. I would say alternative ways to measure someone's depression is just through just a daily check-in, just kind of understanding how the client's using their coping skills, how their relationships are with other people, just various ways to check in on someone. And then obviously this questionnaire point blank asks some pretty blatant questions like, is the client suicidal? Is the client feeling, more sad than normal? All kind of indicative factors that may mandate maybe a stay in a psychiatric hospital if there's a plan or something more towards that suicidality. The answers are pretty straightforward, but something that could kind of confound it, which is kind of my personal critique, is that if someone already has some pre-existing physical concerns, then they're not going to, this will show up on the depression inventory, but it's not going to show whether it was that physical illness or whether it is depression. So there's kind of that mimicking in a way. So, this depression inventory is at a fifth or sixth, seventh grade reading level, fairly understandable for people who are taking this, ages 13 and over. Overall, I would recommend this. Again, it's fairly straightforward, just 21 questions, scenarios kind of gauging how depressed the individual is, and then ultimately doing an assessment based on that.